Yo, you guys, what is good, man? Welcome back to Real United Talk, where we talk about all matters Real Madrid and Man United. This is going to be a Real Talk episode, and today I'm going to give you my post-game review of that Real Madrid versus Osasuna game. Xabi Alonso's first game in charge of Real Madrid in La Liga, and it was a good outing for him. And I think that, we got the win at the end of the day. It was a tough watch to a certain extent, but we got the win, 3 points at the board. But now we're going to be talking about what we learned from that game. But before I go further in the video, I'm just going to ask that, if you're watching this video right now and you haven't subscribed, if you're a new watcher, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And, subscribe if you like the content. And, if you're consistent, but you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it and it means so much to me. And first things first, we have to talk about the formation that Xabi Alonso used. Xabi Alonso used a 4-3-3 formation in that game. It's nice to see that he has an idea of what formation he's going to be using. And although that can change with time, maybe depending on the game that they play, depending on what they need in that game, I think that formation can potentially be changing. But at the same time, he has kind of shown that maybe the 4-3-3 works better with this Madrid squad that he has at the moment. So obviously, like I said, the game was kind of like a slower game and everything. We couldn't really create too many chances, whether that's because it's the first game of the season or the team maybe is not clicking as much yet. Maybe that's all yet to be seen and everything. New manager and all of that. So maybe there's still things that are kind of being integrated into the team, and maybe that's why things are a bit slow right now. So there were a lot of shots from outside the box and everything. Literally, Adam Militao and Hoyson were taking shots from outside the box, meaning that we couldn't create too many chances in this game. And it's not a bad thing, but at the same time, obviously, we don't want to depend on shots from outside the box to get goals in games. And we did get a goal in the game. The penalty that Mbappe won, but that took a moment of individual brilliance. You don't want to depend on individual brilliance. That's kind of what stopped us last season. Yes, it's good that we got the win at the end of the day. You win whatever way you can, but at the same time, we just need to be able to click more as a team rather than as individuals. But yeah, let's talk about some of the things that we noticed in this game. And the first thing that I noticed is Militao starting. I wonder, is it Militao over Rudiger in this situation? Does Xabi Alonso back Militao over Rudiger? I think that partnership with Denhausen is really good and everything. Rudiger is obviously a really good player and everything, but he's not getting any younger and everything. So maybe Militao is kind of the starting option at this point. But obviously, Militao, we know he struggles with fitness and everything. He's torn his ACL twice, and that can be really hard to recover from and everything. So I wonder if he can fully recover from this injury and just fully give it his all on his pitch. I wonder how much he can actually play this season. Okay, so the second thing that we noticed is that Vini and Mbappe are still not clicking. These guys are still not clicking, and something that has been recurring in the starting 11 here and there is Brahim Diaz kind of starting. I think that Xabi Alonso is kind of using Brahim Diaz as kind of a balancing factor, someone to cover that right hand side and just keep Mbappe and Vini in check. And this is something I was kind of pushing last season. I was saying that Brahim Diaz needs to start, not because he has Brahim Diaz is one of my favorite players in Real Madrid and everything. So obviously I wanted him to play, but at the same time I felt with Brahim Diaz there's kind of more balance on the pitch. Obviously we still didn't see that much of it yesterday and everything, but I do think that he's more of a balancing act and actually just being a full-on starter over any other person in that position, especially a player like Rodrygo, who I'm going to talk about. He covers that right hand side, he cuts inside, which is kind of a different dynamic. Cutting inside from the right hand side, he brings a different dynamic, and I do think that it kind of brings a certain level of balance to the team. So maybe that's why we're seeing a lot of Brahim Diaz. I wonder if we're going to see a lot of him in the future. I wonder if he's going to be a normal starter in the team. That's something that is yet to be seen. Jude Bellingham is out of the squad. We saw a debut as well today. I'm going to talk about that in a bit. But yeah, is Brahim Diaz going to be a regular figure in the squad? I guess we're going to have to wait and see. But like I said, Vini and Mbappe are still not clicking. It's still not working out for some reason. And I'm going to bring you guys' attention to one particular play in the team. There was a chance in the 25th minute of the game. It wasn't the greatest chance on goal and everything, but they'll probably show you given the limited amount of chances that we made in that game. Honestly, that perfectly sums up Vini and Mbappe's relationship and why it's not working. When I saw that play, that was literally, if I could summarize everything I said about Vini and Mbappe's relationship, if I could put that into one play, it would be that play. It might not be that important. People might not have noticed it, but honestly, just watch it again and you see what I'm talking about. Vini's first instinct was to look up. He was first instinct was to try and give a cross into the box. When he said that Mbappe was not there, he had to give a cut back. Go watch the highlights, the 25th minute. I remember clearly the 25th minute. So when you see that play, you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. But something needs to be done about that partnership, because these are two of the biggest players in Real Madrid right now. These are the two guys that are looking to see if they can take us forward, win La Liga, win Champions League and everything. And if they're not working out, then what's going to happen? Like, something might have to give at some point. I don't know what's going to give, but something might have to give at some point. Okay, so next thing that we saw was Trent getting subbed off around the 70th minute for Carvajal. And that's to be expected. Carvajal is a big part of the squad. I don't think Xabi Alonso had any plans of, like, just like benching him for all the season and everything. But that now leads me to question, is Trent more of a rotational player this season than an actual, like, full-on starter? That's the question that we need to ask and everything. I think I go to see games where, like, Carvajal starts. I go to see games where Trent starts. I think maybe in the bigger games, like the Barcelona games and everything, I think you see situations where Carvajal starts over Trent, maybe more trust in his defensive ability than he does have in Trent and everything. Trent has kind of shown that he has kind of improved to a certain level in that defensive aspect of his game and everything. But that level of, like, trust in, like, maybe a big game like Barcelona, maybe like a big Champions League game and everything, Carvajal is still kind of like recovering from all his injury issues and everything. But at the end of the day, like, when he does come back, if he does come back, he's still a big part of the squad. So I do think that, like, Carvajal can still have a big role to play this season, regardless of whether Trent is in the team or not and everything. And, we might see more of, like, a rotational thing than just, like, Trent being, like, the full-on starter. And speaking of fullbacks, we saw Alvaro today. I think he had a really good game today and everything. I think he was one of our better players. Like, I think he really held himself well. Like, he was getting in good attacking positions and everything, while also being solid in defense and everything. His passing looks good. His crossing looks good. He just looks good on the ball in general. And I think that Alvaro can play a big part in Real Madrid this season. Obviously, we saw Fran Garcia in the Club World Cup and everything kind of have, like, a big part to play. That could actually be good competition to have, because as much as, like, Fran Garcia has kind of shown to, like, improve under Xabi Alonso. Obviously, we need to see it in bigger games and everything to actually believe it. But I do think that he has improved under Xabi Alonso. I still think that there's a lot of room for improvement, and I think that that's actually a very good competition for these guys to have. Just knowing that enough, like, full-on starters, just knowing that there's someone there competing for your place, waiting for your place. Okay, another thing that we saw was Mastantuono making his debut. I hope I said his name right. I just don't know how to pronounce his name, and I'm sorry if I butchered it. But Mastantuono made his debut against Osasuna, and he looked really sharp. I loved what I saw from him. Like, he looked so eager to get on the ball. I don't really want to compare him to anybody yet, because, like, before he came to Real Madrid, I don't really see him play. So I don't want to compare him to anybody yet, but he looks so eager to get on the ball. Like, he was starting off the right wing, kind of drifting into the middle, and so eager to get on the ball. He didn't look shy, and although that was his debut, although he was one of the youngest players in the squad, if not the youngest, although he's one of the youngest players in the squad, like, he still looked like he wanted to get on the ball and just make something happen. I think that, there's good things to come from him. I think that, like, he can actually be a big part of the squad. I think that he can play a big part, especially now that Bellingham is out of the squad for this time and everything. He can get good games in and just kind of, like, stake his claim in this Xabi Alonso team. So even when Bellingham comes back, even when everybody is fit and ready, he can still play a big part for Madrid this season. Rodrygo was an unused sub yet again. And honestly, this Rodrygo situation needs to be sorted out quick, because I don't like what's going on. I don't like seeing this happen to Rodrygo and everything. It's kind of shocking to an extent, just because, like, when Xabi Alonso came in, he said he had big plans for Rodrygo and everything. So just seeing the way he's being treated, I wonder if something happened behind the scenes that is leading to this and everything. But that Xabi Alonso is the coach at the end of the day. Whatever decision he makes kind of, like, goes. But at the same time, like, I just wonder what is actually happening, whether it's behind the scenes, whether, like, Rodrygo just doesn't have a place in Real Madrid's future and everything. And, if they're going to sell him, then they need to sell him. If they're going to keep him, then they need to, like, start playing him. But something needs to be done. Like, we need to know what's going to happen going forward and everything. A quality player like Rodrygo cannot just continue to sit on the bench. Like, we need to find a solution for him. Whether it's in the team, whether it's out of the team, we do need to find a solution for him. I would hate to see Rodrygo go, but I hate to see him sitting on the bench the way he is right now. So honestly, whatever we need to do, we just need to do it very quickly before the transfer window ends. But yeah, with that comes the end of the episode. Let me know what you guys thought about the game. Did you think that Real Madrid looked sharp? What do you think that we could have improved? What do you guys think about some of the points I made as well? Do you think that Militao is going to be starting over Rudiger? Do you think that Brahim Diaz is going to have a bigger role to play this season for Real Madrid? Do you think that Vini and Mbappe will ever work? These are all points that I made in the video, and these are all questions that need to be answered. So let me know in the comments. But with that comes the end of this episode. Thank you guys again for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I'm going to try and stay consistent, keep on pushing out episodes, and I just hope to see you guys again next time. Safe.